Hello, welcome to episode number 4. Are you still thinking about something negative that happened over the past weekend? Do you feel it's consuming you, even though you did have a good weekend overall, but this one thing you just can't get off your mind? It's not your fault, but you keep thinking about it? Are you surprised I said that? Blame the negativity bias. What's that, you say? I'll tell you all about it in today's episode. Come on in, girlfriend. It's time to nip that negativity bias in the butt and reclaim our life. Is adopting healthy habits a challenge despite the self-help books you're reading? Are everyone else's expectations keeping you so busy that you've got no time or energy left in your day to do what makes you happy? Do you find yourself constantly saying negative things out loud or in your head? Hey, girlfriend, welcome to the Choose Happy with Marie show. You know your life can be better, but you're so tired you can't think clearly. So you continue living your life on autopilot, convinced that this is the best that it can be. I'm here to remind you, your life can be better. Hi, I'm Marie, host of the show and author of the Choose Happy affirmation cards. I've been where you are. I hear the negative self-talk you're saying because I say it too, just a different version. I also know what it's like to try to tirelessly meet everyone else's expectations. I'm here to tell you that there's hope towards finally living a life that is healthy and happy, and I call it choosing happy. If you're ready to ditch the negative self-talk, implement healthy habits, and last but most importantly, finally feel worthy of living a happy life, you're in the right place. Let's do this, girlfriend. Let's choose happy together. Welcome to the Choose Happy with Marie show. Hello, how are you? I am so happy you're here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been enjoying the first 3 episodes of the podcast. Just to recap, in the first episode, I talked about how we first need to feel worthy of happiness as we embark on the Choose Happy journey. And in that episode, I introduced you to the first heart-centered affirmation to support your self-worth. Episode 2 is when we affirm together that from this day forward, we are going to choose happy in living our everyday life. We are intentionally changing our mindset. And I reminded you and me that we are in control of how we feel and how we respond to situations. You can find the second affirmation on our journey here in this episode, episode 2. In episode 3, we started identifying what makes us happy with the use of a vision board. I reviewed a step-by-step process of designing an online vision board using the Canva platform. I also sent out a how-to link in last week's email. If you're not on the list, follow the link below in the show notes to sign up. Today, we are exploring something that for some of us, it really affects us without us even knowing that it's happening. It's called the negativity bias. Let's bring context to this first. What can that look like in our everyday life before we jump into the topic? Let me ask you, do you sometimes find yourself rethinking over and over and, let me say one more time, over and over and over again about an unpleasant situation that happened minutes ago, hours ago, something that happened days ago, maybe even years ago? Here's another one. When you listen or read the news, do you find you remember more the negative news than a positive news story? According to Wikipedia, the negativity bias is also known as the negativity effect. It's the notion that even when of equal intensity, things of a more negative nature, i.e. unpleasant thoughts, emotions, or social interactions, harmful or traumatic events, have a greater effect on one's psychological state and processes than neutral or positive things. In other words, something very positive will generally have less of an impact on a person's behavior and cognition than something equally emotional but negative. So, where does this come from? Well, thousands of years ago, our ancestors were exposed to environmental threats, predators that if we were not on guard, they wouldn't survive very long. So the negativity bias was a good thing at that time. They needed to ensure the possible negative threats were addressed as soon as possible. But over time, this hardwired good go-to approach for survival, it's not needed in the same way. Although there are survival situations that this go-to approach continues to be needed, luckily, most of us are not in a survive or die lifestyle. So, where do we see this happening in our everyday life? Let's talk about 2 ways that this can be appearing in our everyday life. The first way is with news coverage and how predominantly negative it is. When's the last time you watched the news and you felt amazing afterwards? I know, dumb question. Okay, there are exceptions. Those media outlets that finish the news with a feel-good story. I applaud those media outlets. But as we just mentioned, the negative stories can have a lasting impression more than the last positive story. It just is. It's how we humans are hardwired. Another way we see the negativity bias in action is the following. Have you found yourself continuously thinking about something negative that happened earlier in the week, despite good things happening in your week? Is that happening with you already this week? Are you still thinking about that one thing that happened over the past weekend, despite all that positive stuff that happened? All right. Now that we know that this can be happening in our life, and some of us are more susceptible to it than others, it's time to review a few tips you can implement to prevent this from happening, or at least to become aware so that it happens less. Here we go. Tip number 1. Use the words, quote, right now, unquote. So when you're having a bad moment, and yes, it happens to all of us, and yes, it can sometimes happen first thing in the morning, instead of saying this moment is going to ruin your whole day, isolate the incident to right now. So it sounds something like, quote, insert possible foul language, because I can't say it here, unquote. Then say something to the effect, I'm having a crappy moment right now. It does not define my day. By isolating the incident to the moment, we are not giving it power to affect the rest of the day. We recognize it's temporary and it's not a permanent fact of your life. Tip number 2, do a fact check. When you find negative thoughts going through your mind, take a moment to stop and reflect and do a true or false test. For example, if you're worrying that your boss is upset with you, ask yourself, have I done or not done anything that would make my boss upset? Maybe she or he is just having a bad moment and it has absolutely nothing to do with you. You just happen to be in the room observing it. Tip number 3, practice. This is going to take practice. You are going to need to train yourself to see the situation happening as an observer. If you're not used to doing self-reflection, this new habit may feel uncomfortable at first, but it can also be eye-opening. And by being eye-opening, it allows you to isolate the incidents that happen in your life and not let them take control over your day or your life. Don't let the negativity bias drive your life. Get back into the driver's seat and park that negativity, that negative thought, so that you can go on with enjoying the positive things that can happen in your day. All right, then. If you haven't joined our community yet, you are very welcome to join us in the Choose Happy Facebook group, where I drop by a few times a week with inspirational posts aligned with the week's episode. This also gives you the opportunity to connect with me and others. See you next week, where I will introduce you to the 3rd affirmation to support you on your Choose Happy journey. Get ready to be empowered to trust yourself. Have a great day, choosing happy. Cheers. If this episode inspired you to choose happy today, I invite you to share it with other girlfriends you know. They can access it through their podcast app. I'd also encourage you to leave a review for the show at Apple Podcasts to encourage more girlfriends to start living their lives the Choose Happy way. If you're looking for more, I invite you to come join us in the Choose Happy with Marie Facebook group, where I drop by several times a week with inspiring posts related to the episode. You can find the link in my show's notes. And finally, don't forget that you can purchase your very own Choose Happy affirmation card deck on my website at www.choosehappywithmarie.com. Have a great day, and remember, choose happy.